Guys, it's true. She's gone. she she's in a better place now. She's been struggling for a long time. She, her last words were to me, keep that YouTube channel going. I know one day you'll be famous. It's, it's okay. I know she's in a better place now. So, I gotta do the stream for her. I know it's what she would have wanted. It's gonna be so tough without her. It's gonna be okay though. Me and the kids, we'll get through this. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Oh no, it's sad. That reminds me of my wife. Me and her used to go on vacations to the beach. Fuck you. Stop it. Fucking joystick drift. Bunch of bullshit. Dun 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 dun. What happens when you get smoke in your lungs? And chemicals. Chemicals too, yeah, don't forget that. Spraying that oven every time I need to clean it. It's still fucking hot. All those chemicals get burnt into the air. Ugh. Oh my god, it's not healthy, is it? No. Not very healthy. Dun, 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 dun. None, 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 none. None, 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 none. Boom. Got the first part of it done. Yep, that's that. Yeah, I didn't know when I turned my TV off that the stream ends, so I'll leave my TV on whenever I go AFK. Oh my god, it's taking way too long, isn't it? Gotta sit down and play this shit for a long time. That should be enough to finish the second part. I'll build the roof out of wood, not building out of glass. I don't really want a glass dome. But maybe I do. Nah. Or maybe. Okay, fine. I'll do a glass dome, second floor. I don't have any other blocks on me. Do a little farming. Oh, a beehive spawned. Wow. I've only been live for 11 minutes. Yeah, real tired of this game. Days played 68 days. Damn, Minecraft is old as fuck now. This game's so old. Wayne and OG in these streets, I'm the OG round here. Alright. Probably not even gonna have enough to build my roof. I got a lot of sand too. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna have enough. Oh, gotta go collect more sand. It's honestly still probably not enough. Oh wow. Oh, 46. Never mind. That's a decent amount. Not bad. That might be enough.
Hi. How's it going?
Dun 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 dun. What's up, Studio OZ?
Sorry if this comes off rude, but are you atheist?
Not really. I just am what I am.
Why do y'all bring this up, that women are getting divorced? Like, it's like a bad thing. Every woman needs to get a divorce. How about that? Divorce
Respect.
everyone. Y'all are just mad that women have the right to divorce.
Sweetie, you know how easy it is for us to take divorce away from you?
How dare you?
And no, I don't mean by passing laws. Although I think Republicans are gonna get rid of no-fault divorce at some point in the next 3 years. No, the easiest way to take divorce away from women is to never marry them in the first place.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
So now you're like, well, women are the reason for a divorce. Yeah, because men will settle as long as they got at home. Men don't stay with women out of love.
That's the goddamn truth.
Y'all go to work and talk about the ball and chain all the time. Y'all settle. As long as you have a body to go home to, y'all will settle.
Not anymore, sweetie, because a lot of us nowadays just pump and dump. And funny thing is, it's you lovely ladies that keep chasing us, sometimes for years, just hoping we'll put a ring on your finger and give you the job of that body at home.
Bruh.
And also hoping to find a home, because most of you lovely ladies want to move into the man's home when you get married.
Pathetic.
And when we tell you to kick rocks, you become bitter and you post divorce cringe on TikTok, even though you've never actually divorced a man, because none of us would marry you, lovely ladies.
Stop it, Aslan.
It's sad, isn't it?
So women are divorcing because women don't need y'all. That's why there's a male loneliness epidemic.
Every day, more lies.
No, it's not, sweetie.
More lies! Lies! Lies!
What kind of man are you? I don't think I'm a...
I'll work 2 jobs in one day,
She has 3 fucking jobs.
and I work part-time at Target too.
She has 4 jobs. I don't want to work at McDonald's. I don't give a... What a chancer. How close are you at calling it quits? Download my budgeting app today and take control of your money once and for all. And for a limited time only, sign up for the annual version of Premium and get my cookbook and notebook signed and mailed directly to you. Link in the description and pinned comment below.
Hi, I'm Ava. I'm 25 years old,
Hi, I'm Wesley. I'm 24 years old and we live in Fort Worth, Texas.
and you're watching Financial Audit.
Yes, you are. And thanks for coming down here, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Ava, you're in front of me, so let's start with you. What do you do for a living up there?
I work with kids. I'm a Montessori teacher, and I do like princess birthday parties.
Okay. Here's the thing. I get little notes here and there. I go into this blind. I
Okay.
get little notes. They're like, okay, here's a couple of things that might be interesting to learn about them. I don't have the information, but I go in blind with the audience. One bullet is just at the top, and I just looked over as you were just saying what your name was, and it says Ava applied for the show mid-argument.
Yeah, I did do that. I did apply mid-argument. It was like right after I had found out about like the extent of everything.
Found
So
out about the extent. What does that mean?
I had found out that I was looking through his card, and I had seen I saw some transactions that I didn't know what they were. So I asked him, I was like, hey, what is this? And then he was like, oh, it's a credit card that I don't use anymore. Like, I don't know what that is.
But you're seeing transactions.
Yes, I was seeing transactions. So then I was like, okay, well, you need to look into that. And then I saw the number of the credit card debt, and I was like, okay, that's...
Wait, are you guys married?
Yeah, we're married.
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
there
didn't
was
know
no
about this debt?
No. There was no debt before we got married. There was no debt before we got married.
Hold on. How long have you guys been married?
It'll be 2 years in October.
What the f- did you find?
I mean, it was nothing just like debt, like more than I don't have debt, so
So
any
the debt we're talking about
amount,
today, you accrued?
Yeah, it's on me.
so like any amount of debt, like 500, 20,000, any of it, all of it stresses me out. So
Yeah.
so any of the number that I saw
Stress.
was stressed.
Why
so-
weren't you?
So I didn't think to be looking at his accounts because we don't have a joint account. We have separate
Any
accounts.
joint account?
No, because
Why?
we don't have any bills that are together because we still live at home. So we live at we live at my dad's house together, and
You taking out debt then for? Because if we have low
Yeah.
overhead, okay. Well, I guess we'll get into that in a second. Okay, that's interesting. So when did this argument take place? Then you applied for the show.
I had known a little bit of the extent of it in March, and I took all his credit cards in March, and then.
A couple months ago, yeah.
Yeah, so then in April is whenever I had applied, and
Yeah.
we were I had found out that there was a little bit of extra charges from cards that
Oh my-
I take from him. So
if she doesn't take a card from you, charges okay. So then you found the charges.
yeah, so then we were fighting about it, and then my best friend has been telling me, since I had been telling her about that she was like, you need to go on Financial Audit, we both watch it, just apply. So then I was applying mid-argument.
What was the argument? Tell me. What was going on?
Well, it was about the cards that I hadn't collected that
but
he was
walk
still
me through
using.
the argument.
I saw a charge on his account because every once in a while I'd be like, oh, let me check your bank account. I want to go to the movies, or we want to do this. Let's see if we both have the money for it. And then I was going through his bank account. There was a charge from a card that I did not have of his, and I was like, what is that? He was like, oh, that's an old card. That isn't it doesn't work anymore. And then he was like, actually, I have cards in my car.
In my car?
In my car.
So he was hiding cards in his car?
Because it didn't fit in my wallet. I just left them in my car, and you didn't tell her about them.
That's
So-
dangerous, though, because someone
Yeah,
breaks
I did.
in. But not only that, obviously we're having conversations the month prior about, hey, what the f is up with all these cards? Okay, let me hide the cards from you, because you're incapable of not using the card if she doesn't hide them, that sounds like. But you didn't think to bring up the other cards that were conveniently separate from
No,
everything
no.
and went with us everywhere we went.
No, it's just more. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I thought I could get it.
Hurt her
Yeah, I
feelings.
thought I could get it figured out before she
So
found out about it.
continuing to hide the disaster that she tried to mitigate was preventing hurting her feelings.
Yeah, in my head it was.
Yeah, go ahead, walk me through that one.
Well, she's pretty emotional.
No, that is not you protecting her emotions. That is you preventing getting into a conversation where she would get emotional and you don't like that.
Yeah.
That is protecting you. It has nothing to do with her. It's
look at it
a
that way,
selfish choice. If I look at it that way, yeah,
Yeah.
like the real way,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a selfish choice. What did you say?
Yeah, I usually would say like, well, if he would have just told me about it, then we wouldn't be here right now. But really, they didn't fit in his wallet. So like, I had bought him like
Yeah, but that's not the point. That's not the
yeah.
point. It's the fact that they're conveniently at a place that you never
That I
are
would
went
not
with
look.
him.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went after you
Yeah.
took the other credit cards from him the month previous. Obviously, whether or not this was like a choice where he sat down and maniacally planned this, come on, it was subconscious there.
The next time he used the card, he should have been like, oh man, I need to.
And then the next few times?
Yeah.
What did you feel when you discovered all this debt?
I was like, holy.
We're talking 23,000 he racked up.
Yeah.
Did you even know that number?
No, I mean, I did. So after I had like sent everything in, I like went in like on my iPad and I made like a spreadsheet and like highlighted everything and was like, you're not doing this, and that anymore. Like, that was my exact reaction whenever I saw it.
What would have happened if you did not find this out?
I don't know.
What do you think would have happened if she did not find this out?
I probably would have racked up more.
Why?
I don't like spending money that I don't have.
Sure, but you have a wife.
Yeah.
You have a wife at home, but you can't even get an own place for her.
Yeah.
And you desire and think your own spending's more important than taking care of her?
No, I don't think it's more important.
Yet, that is what your actions suggest.
Just a young, dumb kid. I
Oh,
know.
if you're 24, shut the fuck up. You're not 14. Your cognitive ability to make rational decisions basically peaks at 14. Yes, everyone gets the good old prefrontal lobe, 26, whatever. Yes, 98% of it's good by 14. You don't all of a sudden become magically less when you become 26. It's not like a switch flicks, okay?
Yeah.
So dumb, kid. You're 24. Come on. People are 2 years out of college at that point, 2 years into a career. Kid. Don't come in here with kid. 24. What are we doing, 24? Come on. Is that how we view ourselves?
No, I feel like whenever I turned 25, I felt like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm halfway to 50. And I feel like he feels like, oh, I'm only 24, like I was 18 yesterday.
Yeah. When I was 18, I was so excited to get out of the house and just go start my life. 24 living at home. I don't care living at home. I mean, obviously it's American culture. We get out of the house quicker, whatever. But people stay at home longer in other places. But so that's not the part of judging. But it's like, okay, we are married.
Yeah.
Living at home. That's a little less.
I want to finish school.
Is that what you're in, or is that what
I
you're
just
doing?
got accepted in a nursing school like last week.
Okay.
So
do you have any credits you're able to bring in? Is like a 2-year
so
program now?
last year I took off from work and I was in school all of last year, working on my prereqs and everything, and then I applied to nursing school and I just got in like last week. So I'm set to start in August, and that'll be like 2 years. So after,
how does that impact your income?
Well, I won't be working.
You won't be working at all.
I won't have time to work because it's going to be like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I've been like saving as much as I can so that I will, 1, be able to afford for school, and then 2, like have enough money to be able to like pay for car insurance and stuff while I'm in school.
Okay.
But that's why we still live at home. It's because like I want to finish school first.
How long have you guys lived at home?
Well, I've never moved out of. I've never moved out from living at home.
And how long have you been wanting to go to nursing school?
I don't know. Recent, as of recent, like 2022.
As of recent, so we were already at home. Like,
yeah, no, we were already at home for sure. Yeah.
That's not why we're home.
No,
that
that's
might be why we're going
married
to
and at home. Yeah, that's.
Well, no. You've been there for 2 years, and you've recently decided to go to nursing school. So no, that is not why we're in the home. That is why we're going to stay in the home. That is not why we ended up in the home in the first place.
Yes.
$24,000 of debt. She wants to go get a degree. Where do you see yourself supporting that, if any? So it seems like you're just living your own life, my guy.
That's why I really applied, because I was like, okay, I had applied to this school, like I really want to go. It's like $10,000. Like if I get into this,
for what?
Like total, I believe,
okay, that's good.
like 10,000 total. And it's just gonna be an associate of applied science, but I'll have my RN, so it'll be somewhere to start. And then like, how am I gonna be able to not work for 2 years if he's racking up debt?
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you have any answer for that question? Because that's basically the question to you.
I'm gonna get it paid down. That's my mindset.
Go on. Please elaborate on this grand strategy you have, where you went from 0 to 24,000, but that 24,000 is all of a sudden going to go to 0 without changing your behavior because you haven't changed your behavior.
I'm actively looking for a second job.
It's not going to be an income situation. Okay. How much do you make right now?
About $700 a week. $500 to $700 a week.
Okay. Listen, but you have no overhead. So again, this isn't going to be. Huh?
That's not average.
It
though.
varies a lot, but on
What's
average, $500 to $700.
Okay, yeah, but some weeks it could be like 1,200 or 1,400.
Wait, what's average? 600.
Yeah, 600 is average, I would say, but
Okay. But even still, it's not an income thing. And 2,400 a month, not great, of course, but it sounds like you have higher ones. 28,000 hours a year, not great. But again, no overhead.
yeah.
I don't think this is an income problem. It certainly might become one when we lose our second half. Because what do you make?
I make like about like 35,000 a year.
Okay, so you probably have 2,400 in your account as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the household income is 48. So, that within itself isn't the worst. We're pretty close to like median household income in the United States. It's not there. But no overhead where everyone else has overhead. That wouldn't be the problem.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
just-
48 with us combined.
Yeah.
He made a lot more than that last year.
Well, just give me a real average.
Last year, I'm an independent contractor.
Is this your worst?
Yes, this is the worst it's been since I've
Why? What's that? Okay, what are you doing?
I locate underground fiber optic lines.
Okay, and is that becoming less common
No,
because
last
we
year he made like
installed
$60,000
that?
After tax or before taxes.
before taxes. So you had to pay like $10,000 in taxes, so $50,000.
Yeah, sure. Then we installed so many that there are not as many to install, and
No, it's just the city that I work for. They're moving a different direction in the contract. So I'm doing
Exactly.
trying to find another job.
Yeah.
okay, so you're trying to find a different job, not a second job.
But yeah, a second job for the meantime,
But
but
again, this isn't an income thing. If you made $60,000 last year,
That's what I'm
$50,000
saying,
not.
I don't know how that happened in that one period of time when he was making double what I was making. That's where I'm so flabbergasted.
She's flabbergasted, guy.
I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I
good work.
didn't have any words. Like, I don't have anything to say because I couldn't even. That's crazy to me.
I mean, I see what came in last month. Basically, that 4,800. What was spent? Yeah, I know you guys don't know each other's accounts because we're completely
Yeah.
separate. What do you think was spent in the household?
Probably all of mine, so I'll probably spend all
What
of
do you
mine.
think was spent in the household?
47.
McDouble with extra pickles and mac sauce on the side.
Yeah.
Maybe
4,800 came in.
3,600.
How would it be going? Well, because he was spend more. Okay, no, it was 6,000. So
Oh, okay.
4,800 came in. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, this was the month we went on my birthday trip.
Oh my! I'm going to murder this entire world. What is happening? What the fuck is happening? What is this birthday month?
Okay, so-
Oh, I'm like in between generations. Then all of a sudden something happened a couple years before where everyone just became like, what the fuck is this birthday thing? What is this birthday month that people are doing? What is this birthday trip? Get birthday trip! You want to go to nursing school? Go to nursing school! Birthday trip for you!
Well, this was like I wanted to have like one vacation before I was gonna be in school 2 years.
You chose to go to school.
I did.
You don't go to school then. It's like all of a sudden you need to make a big splash because, oh, we're going to school. I need a big trip. Then don't go to school. You make the choice to go to school. So get buckled down and finish it and pay for it. What was the trip?
Well,
We went to Arkansas. It
that's
wasn't
what she's
anything
from.
crazy.
She's from Arkansas.
Walmart?
Yeah, well, like, yeah, I just,
To Hot Springs.
yeah, we went to Hot Springs and we
Stay like a
didn't
kid.
spend like a whole lot of money. We just like went outdoorsy. We went to like the Crater of Diamonds and
Yeah,
like,
but guess what? You spent $1,200 more than came in. So yeah, you spent a lot of
Yeah.
money. It doesn't matter. You spent. If you make $400 and you spend $600, you spend a lot of money. If you make $200,000 and you spend $300,000, you spend a lot of money. It is all ratio. You spent a lot of money.
yes, correct.
Yes, but it's to make memories, lifelong memories.
Lifelong memories, buddy. I don't think you can remember 3 sentences ago from this conversation I've had so far. What are we talking about? This is stupid.
Yeah.
You need to go to school. This is what you decided.
Yeah.
You don't get to because you made a choice of what you want to do in your career, we do not get to enable ourselves to make bad decisions because of that choice you made.
Right.
And that's your entire thing, is you're allowing yourself to go spend $1,200 more than you bring in because you're going to go to school, but you're choosing to go to school, so who cares? You go to school then.
Well, I like to make memories, though. It's important to make memories.
I agree. But you guys are making choices in life. Do you not agree with the choice to go to school then?
I do agree with
Then
that.
what are you doing? You gotta choose. Which one are you choosing? Because you're not paying for school and doing this.
I'm paying for school. He's not paying for school. I'm
You guys
paying
are
for it.
married.
I know, but our finances are separate right now.
What? Why are we maintaining that when clearly it has not worked? I thought a couple months ago we learned our lesson.
I don't know. I don't feel like, even though it's because we don't have any overhead, like you said, so I don't feel like it's his responsibility to pay for the things that I
You guys are
want.
married. You're together. You're doing this together. It's not his responsibility, my responsibility. It's money. It's together. You guys are together.
That's like the goal. Like I want to have a joint bank account and then like separate bank accounts on the side, but we just haven't done that yet.
I mean, in your conversation with Lindsay, you specifically said that you feel it's disrespectful for your
Yeah.
dad.
I
for
do
him to
feel
be in
like
debt.
it's disrespectful because we live in my
It's
dad's.
disrespectful to your dad for him to be in debt.
Because we're not paying any bills. I'm not paying any bills. I'm just blowing all the money I make.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Daddy's footing the bill, and you're doing nothing.
I just like to spend money. I have a spending problem.
What have
It's
you done
like,
to mitigate that? Obviously nothing, but
I'm taking his card.
yeah,
That's
what
what's
have
happened.
you done
nothing.
without your wife having to step in?
Nothing.
So we're dealing with a man baby here. You
Yeah.
married a child.
But I didn't know before we got married.
What were our conversations with money like before marriage?
We were gonna have a joint bank account.
Okay,
We were
well,
gonna
these are
start
completely different
saving.
answers.
I know we were gonna start saving for a house. Like we had lots of plans, and then it's like we got married, and then it didn't happen. But I did have like right after we got married, I had a TSI. So it's like a mini stroke. So like that was kind of scary because I was under a lot of stress, like because I was working a lot of jobs. So that kind of put a hold on my working and like my not my working, but like my schooling stuff. I kind of put a pause on that.
You do this. She had a fucking stroke in her
I had a
early
mini
20s.
stroke from like stress, but still, yeah,
Miniature stroke, sure.
yeah.
Well, chode stroke, I get it. Yet you do this.
It doesn't make me feel good.
I think that's all that does is make you feel good, and you prioritize that over taking care of anyone else around you. I mean, I just got a note that apparently the dad that was taking care of you just lost his job.
Yeah, he did. He did get a new job, but so we have known that he was going to lose his job for like 6 to 7 months before he actually lost it, just because the company was closing down. So that freaked me out because I was like, oh my gosh, if I did have to pay for like the mortgage or the electric bill or something, like I want to make sure that I have money saved where I would be able to do that if I needed to. Like I didn't think that I would be put in that financial position, but like just in case. And then that's like also why this was such a crazy shock to me, because he also knew that he was losing his job. He knew that I was worried about my dad losing his job, and he continued to spend money that he didn't have.
Listen, answer this candidly. This pro gamer over here, has he ever done anything big, monumental, that is selfless? Because he just seems, through his actions and through everything, knowing what's happened with your little stroke, knowing what's happened with your dad losing his job, dad taking care of you guys. You specifically said that you guys talked about getting your finances together, getting a house together, and then his response to that question is you guys didn't have a single conversation. Has he done anything in this relationship financially? Has he done anything that is not just pure him?
Like whenever we were first starting dating, we would like go on dates and stuff.
Oh,
I think
that's why I
I
said
would
monumental,
no.
not getting a dinner.
I would say no. My engagement ring, my wedding ring.
What are your thoughts on this guy?
I think that I like to spend money on her. I spend money on her, taking her on dates and stuff. On concerts, we go to concerts.
She wants a house. She wants a future. She wants to pay for school. She wants to take care of the household when dad loses the job. I don't think she gives a fuck. You're getting her some McNuggets when it comes to the big picture here, guy.
Yeah, I know. I need to work on that. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to get it out of
What a deflection of an answer. Oh, what a gross answer. I hate when people give me that answer. Because it sounds right, but it's the most bullshit that anyone can give. If you go to an alcoholic and say, dude, no, we gotta go. I'm trying. I'm trying. No, you're not. I want to change. No, you don't. You're not putting in the actions to suggest that. That is the most deflective answer that you could ever give in any kind of criticism, is I'm trying. Someone said to me, Caleb, you're looking fatter. And I said, I'm trying. No, I'm not.
Spending money is an addiction. I have a very addictive personality.
Then what have you done? Other than... Exactly, so you're not trying. So never say that again. If I ever hear you say that again, I will get a spray bottle and spray you. Because that is not true. If you've done nothing, the only attempt that has been done to fix this is her stepping in.
Yeah.
You are dragging her down beyond what she ever imagined. Look at this.
Yeah. I was checking my bank statement the other day. Guess what I found? A monthly $14.99 charge. Alright, with me.
You mean her authorized user?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you rack it up?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Is that one of the debts today?
No, I paid that off, but I ran the car back up.
Oh. So his
Yeah, so
ex's car.
when we first started dating, that was like the only debt that he had that I had known about besides like the car payment. But that was the only thing that I had known about, and then he had paid it off. So I was like, oh, this is like a green flag. Like maybe he gave his ex-girlfriend a credit card to use, or like they racked it up or whatever. But he paid it off. So like that's a green flag to me, is that he like can know how to pay off debt now. But obviously that's not the case.
Yes.
That was before I only had 2 credit cards at that time.
What do you have now?
I think 6.
Oh, but where do you think he'd honestly be today if it wasn't for you? Because you stepped in here.
Yeah, so I've been like checking his account every single day, and I think he's only not spending because I'm checking it every single day. I feel like I'm momming him every single day. Like he comes home, I'm like, give me your phone. I can see the look on his face. He's like, oh, here we go again. Whenever I wrote down all of his stuff, he's got like a payment that he has to make like every single day of the month, like subscriptions, credit card bills, like everything. There's almost one every single day. So it's like, I don't feel like I'm enough to like keep him accountable, to make all of his payments and do all of his things and not spend all his money. So that's why I applied.
Do you not feel the absolute most disgusted in the entire world hearing that? I feel gross. It's under my skin.
She doesn't have to be the sole one to keep me
But she
accountable.
clearly does. She just said she does. She said you would be missing payments or overdrawing or something like that
Well,
if she was not checking.
I don't think he'd missing payments because everything's on like auto
I'll
pay.
never miss
Maybe
payments.
she said overdrawing then, if she wasn't checking the accounts.
Yeah. I've never missed it.
Crazy. Live with her dad and then she's also your mom.
Yeah. And I don't have any kids, so I don't want to be anybody's mom.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah, I would love to have kids if we
Well,
could
how-
like get our shit together
We
and
know
have
that
a house.
with you guys,
And
but how? He gets another child. Financially speaking, I don't want to speak for your entire life. I don't know your entire life. But it's just finances, okay?
Yeah.
Right? He's another child.
I think another problem I have is I've never had any good financial role models.
No one has, buddy. Shut the fuck up. What a chancer. What a
well, I tell him that
Some
because
people
I
have
have
different
like
role
good
models.
financial role
well,
models.
good for you, but that
Like,
is a rarity.
But I feel
But
like
that's a rarity. I didn't. Lindsay hasn't. Christian hasn't. Jake hasn't. Jake's on his honeymoon. But like, no one has. And I have a note that I guess because we just got to peel the onion here, that you found out a year into being married that he had $5,000 of debt. Obviously, we know where it is now.
Yeah,
And that
so
you trusted he was taking
I did.
care of it, but he
I
wasn't.
did. I found out we were like in the HEB parking lot. There was like a new HEB that's like opened up, and I was like, I don't even remember what we were gonna go do, but I was like let me check your bank account because it's something I would just ask him, like, because I want to be knowledgeable of like what he has. Just the same as like I feel like he should be knowledgeable of what I have, especially because we don't have a joint account. And then I saw like his credit card and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And he was like, don't worry, like I'm gonna pay it down, like telling me all the right things. So I was like, okay. And then I like brought it up a couple times. He said he was paying it, but like paying off your debt is not just making the minimum payments, because that's gonna take you 20 years. I don't want it to take 20 years. We need to be making more than that.
You'd be okay with having a kid that's lied to you twice now? How can we trust this? I'm sorry, I'm not honestly here to just bully you. I love doing like roasts and stuff like that. But if that is a legitimate, honest question, how can you trust having a kid with someone that has lied to you twice in 2 years? Major lie, not a little petty lie. Yeah, major life lie.
I meant it when I said it. I didn't just say it just to get her off my back. I meant that I was gonna get it worked off, but then I decided to open more credit cards.
How can you be with? I have to apologize.
Sorry if I asked a personal question.
He thinks I'm always trying to break couples up. I promise I'm not. But I do have to ask, how the f can you be with someone that always promises he's going to change and then literally never changes? But, well, actually, it only gets worse.
Why do you think?
He loves me, Mom.
Yeah, well, yeah, I love him, but
I'm sure you're right. I'm not a bad
No,
guy.
you don't. No, you don't, because this is treating. Treating isn't the small actions of you buying a flower, taking her to a meal. This is a part of treating. Remember, she just said that the conversations that you guys had before getting married about finances, we're getting a house and getting your finances in order, and you said you didn't have a conversation.
well, I felt like we
That's
had
the treating
all
part.
kinds of conversations before we got married about how things were going to go and how things this and that and the third, and then it just like
And how do you feel that when he answered that question, he says you guys didn't talk about this?
it pissed me off. Because what do you mean? Like, I just don't feel like finances are as important to him as it is to me. I don't feel like it's important enough to, like, end a marriage over, but it's definitely something that if it continues to go this way, like, that's not, like, that would end the marriage. Like, what do you mean we didn't talk about finances before we got married? How do you think we didn't talk about that?
I just feel like we didn't talk about having joint accounts. I thought we talked about having a single joint account for bills. And
Okay, that is a joint account.
Yeah, but
But if you have a joint account, most of your money is going into the joint account and the savings account, and then you might have like a little bit of money on the side here and there for like things that you want. It's not like, oh, $1,000 here, $1,000 there. That's not what's in this like savings account for us. That's like, I want some Dunkin' and I'm gonna get Dunkin' on my own little card. It's not like spending hundreds of dollars.
yeah, I just don't remember having all these conversations.
Okay.
You guys gonna go anywhere with that?
I honestly don't remember.
Is he gaslighting you right now?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes he is because he says that he's gonna do things and then he doesn't. But
Yeah, forever. Honestly, with him and his actions, you guys are never gonna be able to move out. Never gonna get a house. Buddy, come on.
well,
Literally no answer you could say about anything finances based on your actions have any merit to them. I'm sorry. I mean, you've lied about everything. Not lied in terms of like intentionally like, yeah, I'm gonna go like financially cheap. No, but you say you're gonna do something and then you never do it. So you saying, yeah, I think we're gonna move out, that has no standing. No standing. I'm going out of the documents, but generally, what is the state of this marriage? What do you think?
whenever we got married, I thought that like I needed to see a little bit more, so I didn't change my last name when we got married. So, and then I told him like, oh, if you pay for like my health insurance, because like I felt like he wasn't doing enough. Like he wasn't ticking off every single box. Like basically just the financial box. Like I needed to know more about his finances and like things like that before I like changed my last name, because that is like kind of a long process and you have to change like your social security card, like everything. So I told him like if you pay my health insurance, then I'll like change my last name. And then I found out about all this debt. So I don't feel comfortable like changing my last name if we're just gonna rack up the debt, and then I'm like, if we get divorced, like I'm just gonna have to change my name back.
I don't want to go full 1950s here, but what kind of man are you?
If you see it that way, I don't think I just think I have
Ask for the basic minimum just so she can change her last name to your last name. And you won't even stand up and do the basic bare minimum. You're not a man. You're a child.
if you say so.
Pathetic. Pathetic. You're pathetic. I'm sorry. I'm a little disgusted. I like you. I genuinely like you.
Thanks.
I don't necessarily dislike you, but I'm disgusted by you. In this. Like, come on. There is another individual here that has her heart attached to you.
Yeah, I see that. I know she does.
This is a fun one. I get to get you free money, and then I get to get myself free money. It's a pure win-win for both of us. What do you have to do? Sign up for a SoFi High Yield Savings account and get a welcome bonus of $300. Sign up for Acorns using my link and get $20 instead of the usual $5. Finally, sign up for Silo and earn up to $5,000 in cash back on your own stocks. These offers have been negotiated to give us both more money than using traditional sign-up methods. So use the links in the resources section of the description below and get yourself $5,320 right now. Are you just plain dumb? Is he just plain dumb? Is he just
I
like
don't
weaponized
think
incompetence?
so. No, like, it's really just, like, about money. That this is, like, any other aspect. He's, like, very knowledgeable. Like, I just think he is, like, uncomfortable when it comes to money. I don't know exactly
money
why,
is
like,
uncomfortable
Money is
conversation.
everything, though. It is your future.
And
It's
that's
not
how I feel.
everything,
I
but
don't
it is
feel
so
like-
important.
it's like, I don't feel like money is an uncomfortable topic. I feel like it's uncomfortable for some people, and the reason it's uncomfortable is because it needs to be talked about more.
It
So,
can be uncomfortable, but uncomfortable doesn't mean we run away from it.
yeah,
If you run away from one of the #1 causes for divorce in this country,
exactly.
you're gonna get divorced.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, go. On go at the same exact time. You guys are going to give me what you think your household financial score is, 0 to 10. 10 being the highest, 0 being the lowest. 3, 2, 1, 3.
4.
What the? After all that, you give a 4, and you give it. What the do you think is going on?
I don't know. I just feel like it's really bad, but it's like at a number to where it can be brought down to if we get it now.
But you're not doing it. But
Right.
That depends on it having already been done.
Yeah.
It's not a Hammer Future financial score. I'm
Yeah.
confused. Okay. If you want your assessment to see where you are in the world of finances, go to CalebHammer.com, or you can click the link in the description below and take the assessment. And you can come on the show by going to CalebHammer.com/apply. And don't forget, if you don't want to be like a guest on the show, all you have to do is download my budgeting app. Download it, automatic account connections, community, a lot of great stuff in there, and we're improving it with new features every single month. It's awesome, and if you sign up for the annual version, I'll give you our cookbook that cannot be purchased anywhere else. I'll sign it, and I'll mail it directly to you, and our budgeting notebook. All right, let's jump into these here documents.
Let's get into it.
Quicksilver one. Well, I'm guessing every single credit card, if I'm not mistaken, is yours, so I don't even have to ask.
I have
whose,
one
right?
in there.
Okay. So Quicksilver one. This is yours?
Yes, mine. This is my first credit card ever.
Congratulations. So the card that we discovered 2 months ago. What did we discover this card 2 months ago?
That was the one that was in my car. Yeah, one of those.
Okay, this
that
was the
one.
one in the car.
Yeah.
So it was taken away, and
No, I just took this one away. Like when I
just
found out.
took this one
This
away.
was like
When
2
was
weeks
this?
ago
Like,
that
2
I
weeks
found
ago,
out about.
for fuck's sake.
I took all his cards away.
No,
and
what
he
did we do
used
right
the
before
ones.
that on this card before we took it away?
Oh.
What did we do before that? What did we do?
Probably gas station.
You spent $661.05, buddy. That is how much you bring in a week now because your job has gone to the worst. That is a week worth of spending that you did before taxes, by the way, because you're contractor, you need to set money aside. That is a week's worth
Yeah.
of pre-tax income. More than that you put on a card that you are not paying off because you only put money towards the minimum payment and is accruing interest. It is now, congratulations, maxed out. How long does this take to pay off if we only do minimum monthly payments and we don't do any purchases, of which you are incapable of without your wife taking away the cards? Let's hear it from you.
3 years.
Okay, 14.
Oh,
Congratulations. Yeah, that's your marriage. You guys are going to be approaching 14. 40!
I didn't know it would take that long.
You didn't know anything. Yeah, all you do is spend.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll look at things for the sake of your wife, for the sake of your marriage, for the sake of the household, for the sake of getting out of the house, for the sake of supporting her dad, for the sake of literally anything that you guys have discussed. Maybe all you have to do is take a look. This is simple. The statement is in front of me. It took me less than a second to see that. All you had to do was look.
Yeah.
But you didn't. Because you put in no effort. Because you don't give a
I do.
No, you
Yes, I
don't,
do.
or else you would do something, man.
I feel like I'm trying. I'm trying to find another job.
Where's your try? Try it. It's not a job situation, guy. That is your spending. No matter your job, you spend the money you have. Hey, guess what? You brought in good income last year, and you accumulated $24,000 of debt. So I don't give a.
It's McDonald's time! I'm having a fucking stroke. Please call 911. I'm having a fucking stroke. I need some McDonald's.
Some of these missions we've been seeing here on our screen. What do you know?
Hi, Christina. Yes, that's right. We can now confirm, according to 3 U.S. officials, that the U.S. has been helping in shooting down these Iranian missiles and projectiles that have been targeting Israel today. Now, that's notable for a couple of reasons. We know that in the past, this is something that the U.S. has done. For instance, the Biden administration had a similar posture back when this was taking place in October. But today, and given the events of the last 24 hours, we can report, according to my colleagues who cover the Pentagon, that specifically military assets in the region were moved. And I can tell you specifically some Navy destroyers have been positioned off the Israeli coast to help shoot down some of these missiles and other aerial attacks that are expected, given what we saw last night in the initial attack. And what's notable about that, again, is that this is something where the U.S. possesses the technology that's critical in helping Israel, which of course has its own very sophisticated modern aerial defense systems with the Iron Dome and with all of the experience it has, but where it's often a case you see that the U.S. would aid Israel in its defense because of the hundreds of thousands of Americans who live in Israel, and in addition to the military assets that are positioned in and around Israel that the U.S., of course, would have an interest in defending. So that is a new development, and I'm here at the White House where President Trump still hasn't added anything to his public schedule. He had a national security meeting with his top aides in the Situation Room earlier today, which I'm told was fairly lengthy and ongoing as they were monitoring all of this. I can also tell you, Christina, that the president today has spoken with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We know that they had spoken earlier in the week as well, but as we are trying to navigate all these questions of what the U.S. knew in advance of Israel's attack on Iran yesterday and what role it has played today and what role it will continue to play, that's a pretty key conversation. And it sounds like there are other world leader calls that have taken place, with Downing Street saying that the president spoke with the British Prime Minister, and there are reports of other calls. So we'll bring you more details as we have it, but significant again to update our viewers that U.S. officials do tell us that the U.S. is playing a role in helping Israel defend itself against these retaliatory attacks from Iran. Christina.
Monica, thank you so much. We also have some new reporting in from our producer in Tel Aviv. The IDF spokesperson says both barrages of missiles, there were less than 100 missiles fired at Tel Aviv from Iran. I want to go now to Susan Glasser. She's a staff writer at the New Yorker. But Susan, you have a lot of foreign policy experience and knowledge. We just heard Monica talking about the fact that the president has spoken with Bibi Netanyahu. We also saw a statement that he has spoken to the Saudi Crown Prince. How does the U.S. being involved in defending Israel from this attack from Iran, was that predictable, and does it change all the calculation inside the White House with where the U.S. goes from here?
Yeah, I think it's notable, but it would be a surprise if the United States wasn't participating in the defense of Israel, because that really would be the policy and has been the policy of Democrats and Republicans alike in recent decades. And so I think the surprise would have been, if the U.S. wasn't deploying assets and making them available to the Israelis as they defend itself. It would be notable, and I think was striking, that the U.S. decided not to participate in a proactive way in this preemptive Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear capability. And I think there's also a level, a sort of an uncertainty. Here we are, we're going to be approaching soon the 24-hour mark since Israel made this very, I think, bold and audacious attack on Iran, and yet it's not entirely clear where President Trump and his administration stand, in part because they've been having a real fight inside the sort of MAGA inner circle. The foreign policy world around Trump has been divided on the question. There are some more traditional Republican hawks very suspicious of Iran, very suspicious of the nuclear talks that Trump personally very much wanted to engage in, and yet there are also many of the kind of Tucker Carlson types inside the administration and on the outside who are very wary and worried that Israel will get the United States into another war in the Middle East. And I thought it was very interesting that Carlson publicly kind of broke with the hawks in the Trump world today. And I think you're going to see that fight continue, and that's partially why we're a little bit confused and don't know exactly what the American policy is right now.
Yeah, Susan, those of us who've been covering foreign policy here for a long time have seen successive administrations say they want to pivot U.S. foreign policy away from the Middle East. They want to focus on other places in the world. Obama, Trump, they all just keep getting pulled back into this debate because of actions and things that happen on the ground. Corey, before I let you go, I do want to ask you, since you were the former deputy administrator for the Defense of Nuclear Non-Proliferation and you are so intimately aware and familiar with these facilities in Iran, we have this statement from the head of the IAEA who told the UN Security Council just a little while ago that the above-ground plant where Iran was producing uranium enriched up to 60% had
My dating life update as a 35 divorced a single mom. I went back on Facebook dating, and when I tell you men are not men no more, they are in their feminine energy because all the men want to be chased. They want you to message them first. They want you to be the one that's interested, and then they want to be all nonchalant and not give you no effort. Like, honey, I have a good job, a decent credit score. Yes, I'm a single mom, but I'm a good woman. I know I'm a prize, regardless of whatever men try to say about women that have kids. I'm not going to just be like, yes, you're talking to me, you're God's being gift, or like your God's gift to women. Absolutely not, okay? But I will say this. I used to be the type of woman that would only talk to one guy at the same time, but this time, when I went back on Facebook dating, I said I was going to talk to several different people at the same time and date and see what I do and what I don't like so that I don't have expectations, that I don't get my hopes up and I don't get my feelings hurt. So if you're a divorce A and you're out there, like, see what's out there. Don't just put all your ducks or all your eggs in one row, okay? Was that the same? You get what I was trying to say.
Fat, single mom, bad personality, going after and dating multiple men. Yeah, you're totally a prize. Nasty bitch.
I love you guys. You guys updated. Bye.
Lady, men don't care about your job or money. You are not the price. You already got kids and you are 35. You already lost what high-value men desire the most in a woman. After failing miserably in the dating scene, she decided to start stalking her ex-husband and making his life a living hell by using their children as weapons because her ex-husband moved on with his life with another woman. This next clip will show you an example on how she expects her ex-husband to help her every time she is in trouble using her kids.
You guys thought my baby daddy, estranged husband Carlos, was a piece of work before. Let me tell you what he did this morning. I finally saved up enough money for a new bed frame and a new bed for my kids so that they can have a new bed because obviously they wear pull-up still and they pee on the bed, right? So I'm constantly having to scrub out the pee stains, right? So I was so happy because today I was going to go pay for the furniture set, right? And guess what happens? My car stalls out. So then I call a mechanic and he was like, oh, it's probably going to be like $800 and all this stuff. But my ex, Carlos, he is a mechanic. So then I swallow my pride and then I text this man like, hey, I need your help. It's about my car. Like, I was literally going to treat him like a mechanic. Like, how much would you charge me? Is this an accurate rate? Just talk about the car that gets his kids from A to B. This man didn't answer the phone and then had the audacity to just say, what happened? And then when I said it's about my car, he didn't even respond.
You aren't with him anymore. You are not his responsibility. When the children are in your custody, they are your sole responsibility. He has the right to turn you down as a mechanic because now you're just a customer. Hold that shit. It's funny how they regret their decision, and then when they find out the guy has moved on, they get angry.
Fair, like, why the do I have to go through this? And he's just fine. Like, that's not being fair. He gets to go about his life, have his home, have his cars, have his financial stability, and I'm over here struggling.
You thought the grass is greener on the other side until you found out it was a green doormat that said, go away. He moved on. Now you move on.
I'm frustrated because I, got, my whole world got disheveled. And I feel like he has moved on, and he is healed and moved on and doesn't care about me, which I don't want him to come back into my life, but it still just sucks, I can't imagine, thank you guys for sharing stuff, like the stories that you've gone through this, and it's been however many years, because I could not imagine that.
Guys, normalize prenuptial agreements. Protect your peace. It's always about your wealth. She's never yours. She's only yours right now. Less than 10% succeed. Way, way less are happy. Bad odds.
If you don't know, I left my husband a year ago. And I've been wanting to come on here and give a live update of a year from now and what my life looks like. And I've been hoping that I would be able to come on here and tell you guys that life is just fucking great. But it's not. It's still really hard. I want it to have my shit more together. I know this isn't the truth, but I just feel like I'm failing so much as a mom. I know that that's not the truth, My life is fucking hard. I just got to spend 11.5 hours with my baby. And it was just the most sweetest time.
12 hours with Diddy!
So much. I miss my baby. Life is not where I want it to be a year later.
Any woman who becomes upset after a divorce is only upset because she didn't get the opportunity to destroy the man's life after the divorce. I love stories with happy endings.
I'm divorced. I thought I'd be happier, except the judge set the child support amount at $326 a month. $326 a month for 2 kids for child support is what he has to pay me. $326 a month. Because he's not working. Because he chooses not to. I was able to cross-examine him, which was fun. And I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license, so technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week approximately is how many hours he works a week. Grown man. Grown, able-bodied man with transportation and no child care to worry about. Says he works 15 hours a week.
Just the sound of her voice makes me think that's the best $326 that man is spending. Can you imagine hearing that voice yap on about nothing every day, and her saying, "Are you listening? Good thing the man is divorced now."
Tomorrow is my divorce day, and it's been a lot, to say the least. This moment I have equally dreaded and looked forward to, and the fact that it is now coming to an end officially tomorrow is mind-blowing. I cannot wait. I'm so impressed and proud of myself that I have been able to get through this divorce.
Is it worth it? Oh yeah, it's worth it. If you're strong enough.
Alone. To be 25 years old and doing something of this caliber is huge. I am the youngest of my friends to be married, and now I'm the youngest of my friends to be divorced.
What? What?
So I'm going to hold that with a lot of pride. Many months later. Tomorrow's Christmas, and I'm just crying because of how hard it's been. I feel like I'm trying to prove to myself I can be strong. It's really painful dealing with the loss of everything. Not having my husband.
The main thing is he's happy now, and you can't do anything about it. Your friends pushed you, but now you'll face the consequences alone. Divorce is now an achievement in the West. When the hell did our society values crumble like this?
We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day. Came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday? And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he's like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking, it's our last ditch effort to like steer the ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we going to do? And he just kept playing. He was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours. He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all the shit done.
Yeah. Be careful of what you ask for. You just might get it. She tried to control him and manipulate him. Good for him for recognizing it and leaving. If he had stayed, it would have been a life of misery.
So recently, I caught up with an old friend, and she was telling me that she got divorced. And I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple, and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, you know, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work, like, you know, they had a big house, they had nice things, like, he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced, and now, you know, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I fucking hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club, they just want to go to the bar, they just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kid. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her, like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom, they haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids, and she's pissed, because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, you know, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah.
She had someone on the side, and it didn't work out. She played herself.
The court notified me that my final decree of divorce has been approved by the judge. I know that it sucks being alone. I come home and I'm alone. I go everywhere alone. I don't hardly talk to him anymore. I don't blame him. I filed for the divorce. So I'm sure people are wondering, well, you filed. Why are you so upset? Why are you crying? Just because you make a decision that you think is going to end up making things better doesn't mean that you have to give up the fact that you love that person or that you did it because you were trying or whatever. I've never met anybody like him, and I've never loved anybody like him either, but I don't want a divorce. I still am very much in love with my husband.
He's out fishing and hunting with his buds, driving the vehicle he always wanted, and going to the restaurant that he likes. Get a new husband, and when you're tired of him, divorce him and try again. That's all for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Also, click on the notification bell to know when I drop a new video. Bye.
Where are the men that actually care about emotional connection?
Well, the first place that some women should look that are actually asking that question would be the friend zone.
You know, that place that a lot of women put men that actually show them kindness, consideration, and understanding. Try looking there first.
Like, where are the men that actually want to build something with their person?
And the second place that some of these men will be found will be sitting quietly in their homes, enjoying the peace and tranquility that comes with being single.
Where? Where are they?
One's not going to find them up there.
Don't understand. I don't understand. It's just like that's long gone. Emotional, spiritual, and mental connection is completely gone, apparently.
No, it's not. But a lot of women forget that part of actually finding that connection would involve listening to their partner, not just their partner having to listen to them.
All they really care about is physical attraction and gaining physical attention.
So that might be in large part due to a lot of women only being focused on a man's finances.
I don't know what kind of world we're living in, but honestly, if someone is not willing to connect on a mental, spiritual level, like, it's just not happening. I'm sorry.
We are living in the kind of world that modern feminism has created.
All hail Lady J. She's on point about everything here. Explain to me how it is a mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional connection for a wife to divorce a husband, all because she was bored or unhappy. Women want what they will not give. Women want unconditional love, but will never love a man unconditionally. A woman's love has nothing but conditions attached to it. Now that men are treating women the same way, we get called narcissists.
You said, what are you bringing to the table? Yes. What do most women bring to the table?
Men are tired. I'm not bringing nothing to the table, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Nothing. Well, then that means that one actually has nothing to offer a relationship.
You want a woman to bring something to the table? Go to IHOP.
And I'm sure many men would actually prefer that as opposed to having to deal with women who actually bring nothing to the table outside of their outward appearance.
Go to a restaurant where you can tip her, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
And women listening to this type of advice obviously need some tips.
Because if I bring something to the table, you're going to be mad. It's going to be another man.
A man who obviously doesn't expect much out of their partner.
We're going to not ask you to bring something to the table.
Oh, what's up, Metric Sphinx?
The kids and everybody else. And you, if you look broke. Okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. That's how I roll.
Yes. How to roll right into a relationship that doesn't actually have a decent foundation, relying only on one person's looks and another person's money.
The most frustrating thing about men is the fact that they refuse to acknowledge when they are being flirted with.
It's more likely the case that instead of refusing to acknowledge that they're being flirted with, that they were just either completely unaware of it, or they were playing it safe. What exactly was the strategy they want to use?
Oh, you're so handsome. And they just go... They look so confused to the point where you're like, they obviously want nothing to do with me. That's okay. I'll do that again.
That's a better idea. Instead of trying to be subtle, why not just eliminate all possibilities for confusion and tell the guy that you're interested in him, that you're flirting with him, instead of expecting him to pick up on subtle cues which could easily be misinterpreted as a woman just being nice.
Later you find out they liked you the whole time, so...
So the moral of the story is it would have been better from the beginning just to be upfront and honest and let the guy know that you're interested in him. It would have saved everyone a lot more time.
If you're a woman watching this, and you're hoping to meet a good guy to have a family with, don't be a garden tool, and don't go tossing it about to every person who shows you some attention. That's simply the reality of the intimate market.
So I have zero shame in telling a man that after 3 months you are paying my bills. If you're not, bye-bye.
Oh, I can hear the hearts just breaking from here.
There's a billion people in the world. You can't do what somebody else will, so I have no shame. I'm kind of sort of trying to find somebody to bring me food every once in a while. Like, to a guy, and I said, yeah, after 3 months pay my bills. And he said, no.
That's not surprising at all, because it sounds like that man actually has some self-respect.
Like, a guy knows. Like, oh, if I really like her and she's not crazy, yeah, I would pay her bills. Maybe I threw it out there too soon.
Maybe you just shouldn't have thrown it out there at all.
I don't understand the investment and the benefit and how we're trying to make sure that we're not getting played. I can't help you, men.
Yo.
Don't talk to us. You're not the one. We're not talking to Brokey.
Rice the man.
Not all women think like this, but unfortunately, it is the ones that do that tend to speak the loudest. And they're the main reason that a lot of men are choosing to remain happily single.
Would you date a guy that makes $75K a year?
Now we've seen enough of these. Guess what the answer to that question is?
That's so cute. No.
Cute. Well, that's definitely a new answer.
With inflation in this economy, I absolutely could not.
I absolutely could not, huh? Well, that statement
What
right there
happened?
makes me think that individual doesn't make much money themselves, but yet is going to insist that their future partner brings in all of the money. And why?
My wife died.
And I'm buying organic, and obviously I'm buying all like grass-fed, grass-finished beef, no seed oils. So no, we couldn't afford that at Whole Foods. No Whole Foods for this. No Whole Foods. We're back at like Publix, like the sale section, like Walmart groceries.
Really?
And please be honest. And I do wish them luck.
Yeah, she's in a better place now.
Appearances rather than being captive.
You know, if women weren't combative and argumentative, and if they weren't as masculine as they are now, it would totally be okay if they didn't bring anything to the table. But when women are all of that, and on top of it, they don't want to bring anything to the table, which means they don't want to be feminine, they don't want to be supportive, and they don't want to be loyal or understanding. Why would a man even be
Damn,
with
that's
such women?
sad.
Yes, mandatory vasectomies, you say 13 to 70.
She's out of pain now. She's not in pain anymore. So it's sad, but it's also good.
Living in hope that it was satire. But then I looked at the comment section. No, they seem to be serious. Which is unfortunate, because anyone who thinks that a male should get a vasectomy when they're 11 years old is probably in need of a mandatory psychiatric evaluation.
Would you ever date a guy that made $200K? Like a year? Yeah.
$200K a year. That's a very respectable amount of money. I wonder what their answer will be.
No, what the? Are you serious? You don't think 200K is a lot? No?
No. Oh, I can't wait to hear what their very, I'm sure, reasonable expectations are.
I want a guy that makes 200K a month.
What?
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good. Would you? I mean, like, 200K is like a lot of money. Like, my dad makes 200K.
Oh, but it gets better.
It doesn't like your hardworking dad. Like, we live in a whole different generation. That's true. It's easy to make money now. Yeah, clearly.
It's easy to make money
What's
now.
playing in the
And that will
background?
come as a complete shock to a great many people in this country that are struggling to get by and living paycheck to paycheck every single day.
Look how much money we have. It.